road to success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our guest is Patrick Carrero of Viesta Consumer Products. Karibu sana to our show.
Asante sana.
Viesta Consumer Products, very interesting products that you manufacture. Tell us about them.
These are basically three products, beverages. One is coffee, the other one is tea, the other one is based on hibiscus. It's called Viesta Bio.
What inspired the idea of manufacture your products?
Actually, the idea was inspired when I first was introduced to stevia. A friend of mine called Hiran Shah came to JKUAT about 3 years ago, and he wanted to process stevia to some white powder. The white powder from stevia is about 400 times sweeter than ordinary beetroot sugar or even cane sugar. As I did the processing for him, I came to discover that the stevia could actually value add coffee and tea. I thought of making what we call instant coffee and instant tea, which is actually a self-sweetening, meaning that you just have to add a little into a cup of hot water or hot milk, you stir, you take.
And that's what I'm tasting right now. It's actually fantastic.
Yes. After I got introduced to it, I went ahead and checked about it. I discovered the benefits that stevia has. Stevia has very good benefits for ordinary people because, one, it is an alternative to the ordinary sugar. Number two, it is able to maintain optimum blood pressure and optimum blood sugar. In addition to that, because it has got 0 calories, you tend to manage weight loss. And after that, I checked around from Google. There were so many other people who had done research on the same. And the results were basically that blood pressure is actually lowered on, if you take regularly, and also the blood sugar.
So for you, the inspiration really was health.
So after having done the process for my friend, and having discovered that it could be actually be used to sweeten the beverages, coffee and tea and the like, my son actually got interested. And I encouraged him to do the startup using that knowledge. And I've been trying to assist him to do this business.
What is the process of making the tea or the coffee?
The process begins with purchasing the ordinary tea from the factories, plus stevia.
Where is stevia grown
Stevia
in the country?
Is grown in a number of counties in Kenya today. My friend Hiran has been growing it in Kirijaga. At the moment, I'm aware also at Meru, and also the other regions like Kericho, where it actually began. So there are quite a number of places where it is grown in Kenya. And currently also Nyeri, there are people who are growing it.
You get your products from tea farmers and, of course, coffee farmers.
Coffee is usually bought from suppliers in Nairobi. The tea is usually bought from factories. And once now you have got the raw materials, the next process involves blending the ingredients. You have to be very careful because stevia has got something called the aftertaste. The aftertaste is some kind of feeling. You feel sweet in the mouth after you take. It's not a horrible feeling at all, but you need to balance it. So there must be some other ingredients that must be added to kind of reduce the aftertaste. Because the challenge is if you take stevia alone, after 1 hour, you still feel sweet in the mouth. But again, that feeling sweet is also advantageous because stevia kills bacteria in the mouth.
The reason why you're so confident about why this works for us in terms of our health is because you do have a chemistry background.
My doctorate is basically based on herbal medicine. I've done a lot of research on herbal medicines. I know the kind of phytoconstituents, or call them chemicals, in plants that are able to help the body to fight some diseases. Stevia is not an exception, it's a plant.
Where can we find your products?
The products can be found in a number of supermarkets. In Nairobi, there are supermarkets in Umoja, one called Dimples. There is Patmart. At Roiro, there is Lexomat. There is Powerstar. At Juja, there is Happy Supermarket. At Gatondo, there is also Happy Supermarket. Kiabu, Kamindi. In Njeri, Kasturi Supermarket. Ebu, there is also another Kasturi Supermarket. In addition to other supermarkets, of course, the list is quite a bit, about 20 or so.
Why are you different from other herbal beverages?
The word herbal sometimes is actually misused. I say misused because there are a number of people who try to profit on some plants which will not do anything to the body anyway, for the sake of making money. To me, I don't know what I would call this one herbal tea, although it would, well, stevia being stevia being a herb, perhaps we can call it herbal. But in my view, in terms of sorting out lifestyle conditions like diabetes and blood pressure, this to me will look like just ordinary tea with added value.
Patrick, we must take a break, but when we come back, we'd like to know how you market your products. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our guest is Patrick Carrero of Viesta Consumer Products. Patrick, how much does it cost to start a company such as yours?
With something like 50 to 100,000, you can actually start.
What kind of equipment would you require?
What you require are mixtures to do the breading. The breading can be done in very many ways. But by simple boiling the stevia, spray onto the coffee or to the tea, dry it, and of course you need a bit of grinding. That's one way. Another way would be to blend the stevia when it is in ground form. But you have to take care of the aftertaste. There are some other plant ingredients that you have to incorporate to reduce the aftertaste. Then for the what we call sachets, the ones you just drop into either hot water, this one is outsourced from town, from Nairobi. There are people who are employed to do that. They do it, then once it is packed in boxes, it is now ready for sale.
And how do you market your products?
The marketing is through the word of mouth. I have a son who is also a computer expert, so he has designed a website and people can buy it online.
The choice of packaging, why do you opt for the plastic containers and this kind of packaging?
The availability of packaging is a challenge actually. And mainly for a food product like this, perhaps the best packaging would be the aluminum, because no moisture can get in and you don't get the flavors out. The plastic packaging is cheap, but the aluminum, of course, it is more expensive and appealing to customers. The other packaging is using a paper box. This one is vulnerable to damage during transport, and that's why the aluminum or maybe the plastic container is actually slightly better than that. But all the same, all of them work well.
What other challenges do you face?
One of the biggest challenges is actually management. Without proper management, you have no sale. You have to make sure that what you have spent comes through the sale of the products. And that's why if you have to use any other means like employing someone, you have to really make sure that the targets set are actually met.
What are your targets generally on a monthly or quarterly basis?
Let me put it the other way around. If you want a salary maybe of 20,000, it means then you would have to sell maybe about 3 times for you to realize that salary, because the other costs, rents, production is required. I mean, some money is spent on production. You have to work maybe 3 times harder to earn your salary.
How do you balance your day between your lecturing and your company?
Most of my time is spent on the lecturing, but I've got a backup from my family. So they do perhaps 3/4 of the administration, marketing, and so on.
And where do you see Viesta consumer products in the next 5 years?
I know there's quite a bit of competition, but I see Viesta moving very fast, provided that enough capital is there. If you get used to Viesta Tea, it means then you need to live a healthy life. Living a healthy life means if you take a lot of carbohydrates, the chemicals inside, they actually discourage all those carbohydrates to be absorbed into the system. You live healthy. And now, look at the other teas. The other teas require you go to the shop, get some sugar, you add to it, you add that sugar, you add calories to your body. So I see this being very competitive. I see this product translating to instant coffee and instant tea, and even instant hibiscus. But I can see a very bright future from the responses that I've seen so far.
Thank you so much, Patrick. It was an honor having you on our show.
Asante sana.